Have you gotten your history test results back yet? Mine haven't posted.
Oh, nah, I don't think so. Then I'm not obsessed with checking them every few minutes.
Well, your dad's not hanging your gas money on your test score. So unfair.
Oh, hey, Arthi.
Oh, hey.
What's up? How's the long face?
It's nothing. Don't worry about it.
Are you sure? You seem upset.
Yeah, I'm good. All right. You know Jeremy, right?
Yeah, you've been seeing it for what, like 2 weeks?
Actually, more like 3, but not anymore.
Oh, what happened?
It doesn't matter.
It matters you're upset.
Okay, but this is just between us, all right? You too, Gavin.
I'm good.
So everything was going fine the first couple of weeks. He kept coming up with things for us to do together. We had a really nice time. So on Saturday, he comes over in the morning because we're gonna go biking. So I was getting my helmet and my bike together, and then I realized I forgot to take my medicine, so I run back inside. So when I come back out, he asks me what I forgot, and I told him I just had to take my medicine. Well, that starts the whole line of questioning. Are you sick? What's wrong? All that.
What did you tell him?
I told him the truth, you know, I have epilepsy, it's no biggie. But as soon as I say the words, I see his expression. It's like I told him I had terminal cancer.
Huh?
Basically, he thinks she has a death sentence.
Really?
Yeah, and then he drops me.
He broke up with you?
Yeah,
What for?
you're not gonna believe this.
Tell me.
He thought by being too close to me, he might catch it.
He thought epilepsy was contagious?
Yeah,
What an idiot.
right?
Well, you know, most people don't know the actual facts about epilepsy and seizures.
Well, not like that. I mean, I'm no rocket scientist on epilepsy, but even I know it's not contagious.
Yeah, but what about other stuff? Like, what if I were to have a seizure right here on the floor? Would you know what to do?
Sure I would.
Really?
Yeah, why don't you prove it?
Yeah.
Me and Arthur will test you on it, and if you pass, we'll get your caffeine fix tomorrow.
Oh, you're on.
Hi, what can we get for you today?
We'll have 3 grande cappuccinos, please.
Sure.
Oh, and tomorrow she's getting me a venti with the works.
We'll see about that one.
All right, we'll get those right out to you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Arthur, what do you think we should test him on?
Maybe some true or false.
Sounds good.
True or false, you can tell if someone has epilepsy by looking at them.
Oh, that's crazy. False. People with epilepsy don't look any different,
Right.
and I'm pretty sure they can do most anything they want, right?
Right, most people with epilepsy can do any sport they want, go to school, have any job they want, and even drive a car, as long as their seizures are controlled.
And they have gas money.
Yeah. Okay, here's another one, Gavin. If someone is having a seizure, can they swallow their tongue?
No, I don't think so.
You don't sound so sure.
The fact is, if someone is having a seizure, they can't swallow their tongue, but they can have trouble breathing if anything else gets in the way. So if someone is having a seizure, don't put anything in their mouth and turn them on their side so saliva doesn't get in the way and cause breathing problems.
Okay, here's another one. Can you die from epilepsy?
Yeah, I think so. Epilepsy is serious, right?
Yeah, it is serious, and a person can die from having a seizure, but it's actually pretty rare. And on top of that, people with epilepsy take medication that really helps in most cases. Like, I haven't had a seizure in more than 3 years.
Okay, next one. Is epilepsy a mental illness?
Oh, that's easy. Epilepsy isn't a mental illness, it's a medical condition. Say, like diabetes or heart disease, only it's in the brain.
Right, our brains have billions of nerve cells that send electrical messages back and forth throughout the brain. Epilepsy is when some of these misfire. Sometimes people call this a brainstorm. When this happens, the brain cells don't work normally for a few seconds or a few minutes. If it happens in a small part of the brain, let's say motor control, your leg may start to twitch. Sometimes people may look confused and not know what's going on. But if it happens all over the brain at once, you may black out. Shaking movements of the arms and legs will happen too, or you might just fall to the ground.
But why do people think it's a mental disorder?
They're stupid.
Gavin.
Actually, epilepsy can look like a mental disorder, like if a person's confused and doesn't know what's going on.
Most people don't know what epilepsy is, and they get scared when they see people having seizures. But that was only one type of seizure, and there's more than one, right?
Right, ready for this, Gavin? There are more than 20 different types of seizures. What happens during a seizure depends on which part of the brain is involved.
Your 3 cappuccinos are ready.
Thank you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
20 kinds of seizures?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Here, let me help. I can find you some examples.
So in your brain, when it's having those misfires, it's either focused in one part or the whole brain gets involved. When it's focused, it's just a small part of the brain that is affected. So you might have a part of your body jerk or spasm like this. If you're with them, you might not even know they were having this kind of seizure. But that small part of the brain that is affected might also cause the person's senses to send the wrong signals. Like they might smell something weird, or they may think they hear or see something that's not there. But they're totally conscious and can talk to you.
Got it. Focal, aware, motor, and non-motor?
Right. Then there's something called focal impaired awareness. It's still focused in one part of the brain, but now it's affecting their alertness. Even though they can walk around, they're confused and not aware of what they're doing. Or maybe they look okay, but don't know or remember what's going on. It's kind of like sleepwalking. To someone who doesn't know any better, this kind of seizure looks like someone might be drunk or on drugs or something like that.
Maybe that's where the myths got started. How long does this kind of seizure last?
That kind of seizure can last a couple minutes, but it feels like longer.
Okay, focal impaired awareness seizures. It's a mouthful, but it makes sense.
Gavin, do you know how to help someone who's having one of these seizures?
Well, if they're walking around like that, but they're not conscious, they could seriously hurt themselves. So I'd hold them so they wouldn't move around so much.
Actually, that's the worst thing to do. If they're restrained or sometimes even just touched, their subconscious thinks something bad is happening and they might push back, but they don't even know that they're doing it.
Check this out. I saw this video online. This guy's having a focal impaired awareness seizure right in the middle of shopping. Someone calls the cops because they think he's on drugs or something, and the police try to touch him and try to turn him around.
What's your problem?
Whoa, that's crazy. So, that guy didn't know he just hit a police officer?
Nope, not a clue. That's why people need to know about this stuff. If the police knew what this type of seizure looked like, they wouldn't have touched him. The right thing to do is to wait for it to pass. And if the person's in danger of walking to an unsafe place, you block their path or walk with them to keep them safe. You don't try to stop them from walking or touch them in any way.
Guess I'm not doing too well on this test, huh?
Well, there's more. You can make it up.
Now, the other kind of seizures are called generalized. They affect the whole brain from the beginning. Some affect movement and some don't. The ones that don't affect movement are called absent seizures. When someone is having this kind of seizure, again, they're not aware while it's going on for a few seconds. If you don't know any better, you might think this person's just a space case or daydreaming, but they're not. These things just come on and then they go. When it's over, they're perfectly fine.
You have video of that one?
Yeah, here.
Yeah, it's like they're gone for a few seconds and then they just snap back.
Yep, it's pretty wild, but people learn to live with it. Outside of those brief instances, you never know they had epilepsy unless they had bunches of them at the same time. If that happens, the person looks confused or acts funny for 5 to 10 minutes, or maybe even half an hour or more.
What should I do to help?
There's really nothing you can do to help a person having this kind of seizure. It comes and goes so fast. But if they're having bunches of them at the same time or act confused for a while, get some help. So nothing special to do with the usual absent seizure, but when it's over, ask if they're okay, tell them what happened, and be a friend too.
Okay, and you said there were more types, right?
Right. So the most common type of generalized seizure is the one people most think of when they hear about epilepsy. It's called Tonic-Clonic Seizure. So this seizure affects consciousness and muscle control. The person may fall if they were standing up, and their muscles get stiff, and then shaky movements of the arms and legs happen. Sometimes people say there's foaming at the mouth, but that's wrong. It's just saliva that they can't swallow. They may lose bladder control too. They're not conscious, and it feels like it lasts forever, but it's usually only 1 to 3 minutes.
Yeah, I've seen this. I've even seen it for real.
You did? Did you know what to do?
Yeah, well, we just turned him over on his side and waited a couple minutes till it was over. Someone called 911, I think.
That's good, Gavin, but there's more. When someone is having a tonic-clonic seizure, the most important thing to do is not freak out. It can look scary, but the seizure itself really doesn't harm them. Like you said, you want to turn them on their side, but you also want to protect their head, so maybe put a sweater or a coat under it. And also take off their glasses if they're wearing them. And loosen any tight clothing. But don't put anything in their mouth or try to restrain them. Just protect them and be there for them when they come up afterwards.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It does. You also want to time how long the seizures last. This tells you whether or not they need to go to the hospital.
Really? Shouldn't you call 911 right away?
Well, not necessarily. If this person's been diagnosed with epilepsy and the seizure lasts less than 5 minutes, there's really nothing a hospital can do. It'll be long over by the time they get there. The more important thing is to be there for them when they wake up and help them along. It can take someone about 10 to 30 minutes to fully regain consciousness after a tonic-clonic seizure.
But there are exceptions, right, Arthi? I heard that if a woman is pregnant, she should get examined.
Yeah, you're right. There are times to call 911, like if the woman's pregnant or a person has diabetes, if they hurt themselves from falling on the ground, if they have a seizure while swimming, if the seizure lasts longer than 5 minutes, or they don't wake up. Yeah, you should call 911.
Jeez. Guess that's a lot to know. How do you remember all this?
It's not hard, really. The focal or generalized stuff are just medical terms. I look for whether or not the person is fully conscious while it's happening, so aware versus impaired awareness. If they're aware, there's not much I can do to help other than just be supportive. If they aren't fully conscious, then you need to see if the seizure's affecting movement, so motor versus non-motor. If it's affecting movement, protect them from things that could be dangerous to them, like walking in front of traffic or hitting their head. Basically, all the stuff we just talked about.
See, it's just a matter of someone telling you. I mean, all my good friends, like Monica, know what to do because I've told them.
Ah, so I guess I'm one of your good friends now, huh?
Not so fast. Arthi, what else should we test him on?
How about some facts? Do you have any idea how many people have epilepsy?
Nope, not too sure about that one.
About 3 million people in the US, and 300,000 of them are students. And here's another thing, 10% of all Americans will have a seizure at some point in their life.
Wow. So it's pretty common then, huh?
Yeah, but here's the thing. Even though it's so common, most people still don't get it. Sometimes kids with epilepsy are bullied, especially in schools.
Yeah, I remember a few years ago in middle school, those popular girls made fun of you.
Yep, until you call them out on it.
Yeah, I did.
One of your more brilliant moments. And also, the school finally cracked down on bullying. It's just not cool. So another thing to do is educate your friends so kids with epilepsy aren't teased or excluded.
I'm on board with that. So, did I pass the test?
I don't know. Arthi?
I don't know, that's a hard call.
I'd say he gets it for trying, but listen, the coffee's on me. Dude, I'm not so sure you passed, but you did bring some solid entertainment to my day.
Gee. Thanks, I guess?
I'll see you tomorrow for that venti.
Yeah, cool. So, Arthi, now that you're single, wanna go catch a movie?
For more information on epilepsy, the facts, and how you can help, visit epilepsy.com.